Herald Tribune reports the shooting happened earlier this morning. Here's a look at the suspect police arrested. Police found 36-year-old Ramon Palacios at the scene and say he admitted to shooting his girlfriend. Herald Tribune writer Jessica Coleman reports the 911 call came in just before 2 a.m. A person in the area called authorities when they heard gunshots near Cleese and Buffalo Streets in Edna. The woman killed is identified as Roseanne Martinez. Palacios is at the Jackson County Jail charged with murder. We've reached out to Police Chief Rick Boone and we're waiting to hear back. Karina?
Trenton, thank you. The attorney for the former Uvalde ISD Chief of Police, Pete Arenando, held a press conference today to discuss issues with the Uvalde school shooting at Robb Elementary that he claims resulted in improper criminal charges filed against his client. Pete Arenando's lawyer says the ex-Uvalde school police chief did what he could with the information that he had when he led the police response at Robb Elementary, rejecting the narrative that he prioritized the lives of law enforcement over children.
Under his indictment, the claim is that he should have set up a command post because he was the designated person in the school policy to set up a command post. It's not that rigid. That's not how it works if you are on the scene as a first responder. Every single law enforcement officer that shows up is competent and trained to set up a command post.
Arenando was indicted on June 28th on 10 state jail felony counts for abandoning or endangering a child in the May 24th, 2022 attack that killed 19 children and 2 teachers. The indictment lists Arenando as the incident commander of an incident involving an active shooter on a school campus that was under his control. Now, family and friends held a memorial this morning at Dickies Arena to honor and remember a CrossFit athlete who died while competing in a run-swim event in Fort Worth Thursday. During the event Thursday morning, a swimmer apparently began to have trouble and was seen slipping underwater. The Fort Worth Fire Department responded to the lake at about 8 a.m. to help find that missing swimmer. An hour later, they located the man's body, which was later identified as 28-year-old Lazar Ducic of Serbia. Now to the remnants of Debbie taking aim at the northeast after leaving a trail of destruction across the south. Many up and down the I-95 corridor now bracing for rain and flash flooding.
After drenching the mid-Atlantic and the south, Debbie's remnants now ripping through the northeast, bringing the threat of flash flooding, heavy rain, and tornadoes. The tropical system wreaking havoc across North Carolina, spawning tornadoes that leveled homes and buildings. Genesis Cooper of Lucama, east of Raleigh, says he, along with his wife and son, huddled inside of a bathroom as that tornado blew through.
And he had a punching bag in there full of sand, you know, one of the big punching bags. They blew it through his room, knocked the door out into the living room. So all that's laying in the middle of the living room floor.
This nearby school devastated. That tornado just one of 3 overnight in North Carolina. ABC's Victor Okendo is there.
Several homes in Lucama, North Carolina, taking a direct hit from Debbie. The homeowner here likely asleep in his first floor bedroom when a tornado hit. The house so badly damaged, first responders had to lift and stabilize it before making their way in. Sadly, that homeowner did not survive.
In Montgomery County, Maryland, storms uprooting trees. In Potomac, one of these trees smashing into this home, displacing an entire family of 6.
I saw a tree right there in my living room. I mean, the first thing that came in, it could have hit me. That's when my wife was shaking because she thought that the tree had fallen on top of me.
Meanwhile, near Wilmington, Delaware, the National Weather Service confirming a tornado.
There was many reports made of damage to houses, such as trees down, pole wires down.
In nearby Bear, more than a half a foot of rain fell really fast. First responders had to rescue people from the water that was too high to drive through.
It was really, really deep and very rushing. It got higher while I was sitting here waiting.
And so far, Debbie has claimed the lives of at least 7 people. These remnants expected to move out of the Northeast by tomorrow morning. I'm Morgan Norwood, ABC News, New York.
And now let's take a look at your forecast with First Warn Storm Team Chief Meteorologist Mac Bettis.
Well, thank you very much. With the intense heating that we had today, we actually popped a couple of thunder showers. As you can see, they're coming down From Fort Bend County down through Wharton right about now, headed toward Edna. Edna may be getting some pretty good rain, and if you're in Victoria, we may be looking at this one actually visiting us, so wouldn't that be nice? These thunder showers are caused by the intense heating that we had today. We did get up to 99, I believe, and we'll be talking more about what to expect for the weekend and take a look at the tropics, all that in just a minute. Back to you.
Mac, thank you. Donald Trump's legal team is trying once again to get a gag order lifted in the former president's hush money case. Trump's lawyers submitted a petition to the New York Court of Appeals to review a lower court's decision to maintain the gag order. The former president is not allowed to speak publicly about witnesses, the jury, the court staff, or their families since being convicted of 34 felonies. The Court of Appeals can deny to review the petition, which it already did once already. And former President Donald Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris have now agreed to a debate. They are set to take the stage together September 10th on ABC. But until then, the two will compete for the attention on the campaign trail.
Since she became the Democratic presidential nominee, Vice President Kamala Harris has held several high-energy rallies, proving that Donald Trump is not the only candidate who can draw a crowd. Her campaign estimates her biggest rally so far had about 15,000 attendees, a detail that seems to be getting under the former president's skin.
Are you worried at all about the size of Harris's crowds?
Oh, give me a break.
Trump has long been known for drawing large crowds himself, but also for hyper-fixating on how many people attend his events and exaggerating those numbers.
In history, for any country, nobody's had crowds like I have.
With Harris experiencing momentum, Trump tried to take back the narrative with an hour-long, sometimes meandering news conference on Thursday. He proved he's ready to go on the attack, criticizing her intelligence and pushing her to take more questions from reporters.
She hasn't done an interview. She can't do an interview. She's barely competent, and she can't do an interview.
Harris, who has not done a sit-down interview since President Joe Biden withdrew from the race, says she's working to get one on the calendar.
I've talked to my team. I want us to get an interview scheduled before the end of the month.
And after lots of back and forth, the presidential debate hosted by ABC is now on the schedule. The two candidates agreed to meet September 10th. Reporting in Washington, I'm Julia Benbrook.
Microsoft says Iran ramped up attempts to influence the U.S. presidential election. Iranian operatives are creating fake news outlets to target both liberal and conservative voters, and they are trying to hack an unnamed presidential campaign. One fake Iranian-backed outlet describes itself as a trusted source for conservative news in Savannah, Georgia. The site did not gain much traction on social media, but that could change as the election comes closer. Now, the United States is releasing $3.5 billion to Israel. The funds will be used to purchase military equipment and weapons from the U.S. The money comes from the $14.1 billion funding bill for Israel that Congress approved back in April. Israel won't get the weapons immediately, but the funding will help Israel procure systems that are currently being built and won't be ready for a couple of years. Now it's back to school time for students in the Victoria ISD. Teachers, staff will return to the classroom August 13th. 25 News Now Sunrise anchor Karina spoke with the interim superintendent about what they will focus on this school year. You can watch and read this story on our website, crossroadstoday.com, leading us to your Veer poll this afternoon. The question is, what time do your children usually wake up for school? According to our results, it looks like before 6 a.m. takes the lead with 61% share of the voice, followed by 6 to 7 a.m. with 33%. Thank you for voting. We want to hear from you. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part, and we're going to have an update on 25 News Now at 10. And remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click that notification bell. For now, stay with us. In San Diego, pickpocketers are caught on camera. That's coming up on 25 News Now at 6. Also ahead, Elon Musk sues a major ad group out of existence. A major ad industry group is shutting down just days after it was sued by Elon Musk. The lawsuit filed in a Texas federal court claims Global Alliance for Responsible Media reportedly conspired to boycott advertising on the platform formerly known as Twitter. It accused the group of organizing to block billions of dollars of ad revenue over its concern about a change in brand safety standards since Elon acquired the platform. The group is a nonprofit initiative that aims to help brands keep their ads from appearing alongside illegal or harmful content. They announced its plans to shut down, saying the allegations completely drained their finances. Now, a new rise in the number of pickpocketers in San Diego stealing phones and jewelry from people, but one resident caught the incident on camera.
I was walking with my friend, and one of the pickpocketers tried to bump into him and snatch his chain.
Mohammed Ahmed decided to follow the pickpocketers from a distance. He caught this on a recent Saturday night on 5th Avenue. You can see a hand going into a purse and pulling out a phone.
Usually they work in like groups of three. There's a bag holder, there's a person who blocks the view of other people, and the person who actually does the pickpocketing.
He saw them put a rag over their hand before going into someone's purse or pocket. Mohammed says he's seen dozens of pickpocketing attempts and even noticed multiple groups trying to do it.
As soon as I saw one group, I saw three groups, and it's just like now every time I go downtown, I can easily identify a pickpocket by just looking into a crowd. And usually that's where they go, big giant crowds.
Some businesses have even started posting signs like this one here, warning customers about pickpocketers. Mohammed's recent video has gained more than 800,000 views. He is hopeful it will help spread awareness and even help catch the pickpocketers.
At one point, I talked to a cop, one of the cops, and they said they can't really do anything about it unless you have video proof of the person going into the purse.
I also reached out to San Diego police. They're working to gather information about pickpocketing happening in Gaslamp.
Travel company Upgraded Points ranked the best and worst airports using data from the Bureau of Transportation Statistics. The best airport for early morning flights is Cleveland Hopkins International Airport. Meanwhile, you might not want to schedule an early morning flight from Miami International Airport. On the flip side, the best airport for red-eye flights is Atlanta's Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport. Lastly, Cincinnati Northern Kentucky International Airport ranked worst for those late-night flights.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. A rather warm day, wouldn't you say? As a matter of fact, right now it's still 96 degrees out there. Feels like 108. You probably felt the heat index today. Yes, our official high was 97 for today. We're going to be staying there for the next few days, and the heat index is going to be hovering at 110. So that means we all have to be very cautious with the heat over the weekend. We'll have more on that and take a look at the tropics coming up in a moment. Well, good afternoon, everybody. Late this afternoon, we did see a couple of thunder showers pop up. Very nice. I'm excited because it's the only way we're going to cool down. Here's Edna. You can see we've got a storm just to the north of it. Also up here in Wharton and moving down through Fort Bend County, rolling down toward the Highway 59 rather. If you're in Victoria, you have a pretty good shot at getting some of this activity within the next couple of hours. This would not last very long. It's not severe weather. It'd be nice if we got something. It'll be one way of cooling things down. We also had enough moisture in the atmosphere to trigger some showers up north of Austin. There's Austin right there. You can see the activity slowly drifting southward. But the thing is, within the hour or two, these will start to diminish because of the heating going down. And of course, heating is very important to triggering this activity. We have heat advisories right on through this evening and into tomorrow probably because of the hot weather over our area. All I'm saying is have a good weekend. Just respect the heat and know that it can get you. Current temperature is 95 in Victoria, 94 in Port Lavaca, 93 in Seadrift, and even 97 out in Goliad. I'm sure that includes Fannin as well. So let's take a look at what you need to think about over the weekend. Think about having a good time. Think about having a nice iced tea or ice cream, something like that. But also remember, you got to stay hydrated and take plenty of breaks. Limit your outdoor strenuous activity and just make sure you check up on the elderly and the little kids. Now, here is Debbie way up here, but Ernesto is very interesting. This is now a pretty good shot. It's got plenty of potential to develop. By tomorrow or over the weekend, it'll become a tropical depression, and then it'll start to strengthen as it rolls into the Atlantic. Now, there is some concern for the East Coast, but there's going to be a little bit of a cone here that we don't really know exactly now where it's going to go. If it follows all the way up to the seacoast, the coastline, it'll bring heavy rains to the Carolinas, which just went through that. If it turns up a little earlier, it may just curve around and miss the whole thing. So basically, the East Coast has to be on the lookout to see what happens with that system. Otherwise, Debbie is now racing across Canada with the heaviest rain now beginning to move out of New York State after producing a deluge. So, you know, they didn't get the winds, but boy, they got the 6 to 10 inches of rain in many areas of the East Coast. Here is the dust associated from the Saharan Desert. You can see how it's sort of limiting the development of Ernesto, but some of that dust will arrive in our area probably Monday, Tuesday of next week. We'll certainly be watching for it, but that is going to add to our problems. What is our problem? Our problem is just blazing heat. The dome is just huge. It is expanding all over the area, and it'll be bringing heat waves not only to Florida, but to our area as well over the next few weeks. So there's not a lot of change in your forecast. Lots of sun tomorrow, and pretty good for going fishing. Just remember to wear a hat and sunscreen, looking for a 93 in Port Lavaca, up to about a 95 in the Cuero area, and then your 7 days. Well, not a lot of hope in change. We're going to have a heat index tomorrow at 110 and 110 again on Sunday. That is when you have to just be cautious in the afternoon with doing overexertion in the midday sun. That is your 7-day forecast. Reminding everybody, we do have a QR code. Please scan that and put Crossroads Today on your phone. And here's Karina.
Thank you, Mac. Now here's Max Williams with your sports.
All right, thanks, Karina. Victoria East star Kason Coley has been very busy as of late. We'll let you know more about him here in sports. All right, so a couple weeks back, we covered the High Plains Shootout in Oklahoma featuring Victoria East baseball star Kason Coley. But he now just competed in the area code games in California, and he'll start two-a-day practices here for football coming up on Monday. I sat down with him to discuss how his last couple of months have been and what he's looking forward to on the football field. Earlier in July, I covered star player Kason Coley for competing in the High Plains Shootout in Oklahoma. Well, he's staying busy, and now he's competing in the area code games in Long Beach, California. Kason talks about being chosen for this event.
To compete at a high level, it's always good for your game, and it improves it in one way or another. Whether it's seeing arms on the mound or at the plate or even catching arms, it's always good to get comfortable with those new guys and stuff, especially when you never know, they could be your teammates in college or your competition. So,
even though Kason is showing off on the baseball field, he also plays football as well at Victoria East with crazy stats last season of 1,064 passing yards and 10 touchdowns in the air, and also rushed for 461 yards and touchdowns on the ground. He talks about how he's trying to transition over now to the football field.
Went down to Victoria after a few of our tournaments. I've been trying to get up there with some of the guys and throwing the football around again and regaining the chemistry from last year and stuff from the guys coming back. And it's been going good. I mean, I've talked to them, told them when I'm going to be gone and everything, so a lot of them know.
It was all his hard work on the football field and baseball diamond. Kason and his father and head baseball coach of Victoria East, Wes Coley, tried to find some free time between themselves and the rest of their family.
Did some beach time when we were out in Florida. We went to a Dodgers game the other night, got to see them play the Phillies, and that was our first time at Dodger Stadium. So that's one of the, epic ballparks in the country and stuff. And so it was, really cool to experience that. And it's been fun.
In all, Kason is trying to find his last bits of fun and finish up all his baseball competition before starting up 2 days for Victoria East football this upcoming Monday, August 12th. Wish Kason luck with everything on the field and at the plate. This is Max Williams, KVU TV 25, News Now Sports. And Victoria Northeast is now fresh off their appearance in the Senior Little League World Series. They returned to Victoria here last Sunday. The city now looks to celebrate these young athletes over the weekend with a couple of fun parents for the game. Here's some of the players for more info.
We're just going to have fun, show our people love for supporting us. Just feeling good. We're going to whoop the parents.
I mean, we're all going to go out there and we're going to try to have fun. I mean, of course, we're not going to take it easy on them. We're going to go whoop some butt, and that's the whole goal, is just to have fun and congratulate us on what we did when we were in South Carolina.
I am really looking forward to it, but we're gonna modify them rules. We're gonna modify some stuff so that everybody can hang in there with those kids.
Make sure you come and help celebrate those young athletes tomorrow at Riverside Stadium. You expect Miss Pamela Edwards, who just said that last line there at the end, you saw earlier, to throw the first pitch at 7 p.m. and the gates will open at 5 p.m. And now finally over to the NFL. The Houston Texans, they're playing right now against the Pittsburgh Steelers in their second preseason game. The Texans, they played last week in the Hall of Fame game against the Bears before it was canceled due to weather. So hopefully some good weather there tonight, and expect to see more of Davis Mills and Xavier Hutchinson for the Texans. This will be the last away game for the Texans before they play home against the Giants next week, and then August 24th against the Rams. Both those games will start at noon. That's all here in sports. Karina, back to you.
Thanks, Max. And we're back in a moment. Spiders are set to emerge for mating season in 3 states just in time for Halloween. Just ahead of the spooky season, the brown tarantula's mating season starts in August and lasts through October. They're set to emerge in 3 states. That includes Colorado, Kansas, and New Mexico. They're not likely to creep into your house because they're too big to squeeze through small cracks like regular house spiders. But if you're worried about a spider bite, which I am, experts say it'll hurt, but it won't kill you. Well, that's good news, I guess. While American tarantulas are venomous, they say the bites are rare and usually do not require medical attention. They just hurt, apparently.
Yeah.
So you'll survive in pain.
When we were kids, we'd do a lot of outside stuff, camping and running around and hunting and all that, but I've never run into one, so I guess I'm just lucky.
Oh yeah, spiders, roaches, bugs, and the whole shebang, get it away from me, not my thing.
Well, even for us outdoor people.
And with this hot and humidity, we have a lot of mosquitoes coming out.
Yes, that is certainly going to be a factor, and also even the snakes are out there trying to figure out where to go to get cooled down. Folks, we're looking at a rather hot weekend. Heat index tomorrow topping out at 110. So just, respect the heat, have a good time. You can cross the parking lot and go to the store, and that's all right. It's just if you're doing heavy activities where you're exerting a lot, you just need to be cautious over the weekend because the heat index is going to be way up there, and that's going to be with us for quite some time. So we'll just have to figure out how to live with it.
Alrighty, thank you, Mac, and thank you, Max, and thank you for joining us. We hope to see you back here tonight for 25 News Now at 10.